cruising is one of my favorite things to do. And top that with a Disney cruise and I am set. So today I wanted to share with you some ways to have one of the best embarkation days ever, or at least do some things to make sure that embarkation day goes smoothly. These are my favorite ways to have embarkation day, and there's so many different combinations that you could do to have the best embarkation day. I know I'm not going to possibly hit all of them, so I'm sticking with my top 8 ways to have the best embarkation day ever. Number 1, and this is crucial, it doesn't matter if it's your first cruise or your 50th cruise, you really need to arrive the night before your cruise sets sail. The last thing that you want to have that would really mess up your perfect embarkation day is to have flight delays or transportation delays or any other kind of weather delays, anything that could stop you from getting on board that ship. So arrive the night before. That way you do have some flexibility. You're not stressing in the morning and everything just starts off perfectly magical. My second tip is to try to get an early port arrival time. Now this has to be done 30 days prior to when you sail. At 30 days prior, at midnight, the check-in time opens and you can start checking in, you upload your documents, you pick your port arrival time. There's some other things that you're able to pick, like sometimes there's on the Disney cruise, there's a princess meet and greet that you might be able to score a reservation for. So there's other things that you can do at that time, but getting the earliest port arrival time is my favorite. And that's because I feel like the moment I step on board the ship, I'm on vacation. So I try to get an earlier time. There are some benefits of getting a later time. I'm not going to go into those today because I want to give you what I feel makes for a perfect embarkation day. And that is to get an early port arrival time. You can do this even if it's your first cruise. You can get an earlier time. It doesn't matter which cruise you have. If you're concierge, you don't have to worry about that. You'll be able to board once you arrive, but get the earliest you can. Usually that's around 11:45, maybe 12, somewhere around there. Might fluctuate a little bit. We've usually gotten one around 12 o'clock. Getting that early port arrival time allows you to start enjoying the amenities aboard the ship earlier. So that's why I really like it, because there's a couple of activities, and that's what I'm going to get into now, that I like to do on embarkation day. The first thing, so this is number 3, go to Cabanas. I always feel like I need to go to the Cabanas buffet or Marceline Market on the Disney Treasure or the Disney Wish so that I can just start my cruise there. I feel for some reason, and maybe it's just me, but the desserts, to me, the options of the desserts are the best that day. Go to Cabanas and have a wonderful first meal on the ship. If it's not your first cruise, or if you don't like crowds, you may want to go to one of the sit-down restaurants. There's always an option to have lunch at one of the sit-down restaurants, and you could go there and have your lunch that way. We've never done that because we just really like the feel and the tradition of going to Cabanas or Marceline Market for our first day. But if you don't like crowds, or if you just want something a little different, maybe it's not your first time, or maybe for your first time you want to start a different tradition, then you do have another option of going to one of the restaurants. Wherever you decide, one of the first things that you need to do while you're enjoying your first meal on the ship is to open up your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. Hopefully you have already downloaded that prior to boarding. While you're sitting there, you can scroll through the different events that are offered on the different days on ship, and then you can put a little heart next to it. And that's one of my favorite things to do as we're sitting there as a family, kind of seeing what we might want to go visit or experience together, and what some of us may want to, go experience on our own. So we open up the app and each of us start hearting different things that we want to do. And then we see what matches up and what we might want to experience together. And it's really fun. It gives you a preview of what's coming up. One thing is when you heart, put a little heart, a favorite next to the activity, it will alert you later on. So put a heart next to all the ones you want to. It doesn't mean you have to go to them, but your little app will alert you when that event is coming up, and you won't have to remember, oh yeah, I wanted to meet Minnie Mouse. It's going to be there for you. Number 4, after we've had our amazing first lunch at Cabanas, we like to go up to the spa, and it's usually an open house and you can do a little tour. They'll give you a tour of the facilities and the different rooms. And sometimes I like to sign up for a massage while I'm up there instead of waiting. But they also, on Embarkation Day, have little giveaways so you can sign up to possibly win a service. And that's kind of neat. I have signed up, but I never made it back for the drawing. You have to be present. You have to go back for the drawing. I've never gone back because I've been exploring the ship. More on that in a bit. So, but hey, if you're interested in spa activities, definitely want to take a little tour. Number 5, after visiting the spa, I like to go down to the Disney's Oceaneer Club and explore and see what the Oceaneer Club is on that ship. Some of the ships are slightly different. So getting the chance to visit the Oceaneer Club at the Disney Wish was so different than the Disney Fantasy, which was my previous ship. And it was really neat to see the space. I'm really jealous of all of the kids that get to use and explore this space. Kind of secretly wish that they'd have like one of those evenings where it's adults that can go explore the space and have fun. And I don't know where the kids would go at that time, so I guess that probably can't happen. But I really enjoy at least looking at it. I take my kids there. They're aging out of the younger portion of the Oceaneer Club, although sometimes Edge comes in and gets to use the facilities a little bit. So it is something where we all take a little preview. But as an adult, I kind of like it. I like to see the space that the kids can play in. I think it's really neat. Even if I can't play in it too, it's kind of nice to think about all of the wonderful things that they have available to them as well. Number 6, this is one of my favorite parts, and that is to take a mini tour of the ship. Kind of familiarize myself with where everything is, where some of the dining locations are, where some of the lounge locations are, and just really take a little mini tour. I call this a mini tour because I really spend maybe a half an hour, 40 minutes just looking around, probably not even that long, just kind of getting a layout of the ship and seeing where everything is. I like to do my full tour where I really explore the ship on the first at-sea day. And I like to do it around 6 in the morning where it's really quiet. It's just so peaceful. So I know that doesn't have to do with Embarkation Day, but your little mini tour will give you a preview of that. And it's really nice. You will, if it's your first cruise, do not worry. You are going to find your way quicker than you know. You'll be an ace by day 2, but taking that little mini tour will help you feel more comfortable. All right, number 7, to make sure that you have a really good Embarkation Day. So the staterooms open around 1:30-ish. There's usually an announcement. Now, your luggage might not be there yet. We have been very fortunate to have our luggage delivered pretty quickly. We had our luggage on the Wish delivered. We were going to the stateroom. The luggage was arriving at the same time. It was probably around 2 o'clock. It was all coming together, which was fantastic, because the one thing that I really like to do to make Embarkation Day and also the rest of the vacation really smooth is to unpack. And I like to get everything settled, unpacked, all the toiletries into the bathroom, the suitcases away, and that way when you come back that evening from the show or wherever else you are after dinner, you're feeling comfortable and everything's like welcoming and you're ready for bed and it's all set. Now, if your luggage doesn't come there early enough before dinner, before your other events, just do it that evening when you return, but do it on Embarkation Day. Make sure everything is set, that everything is put away, your luggage is put away, the room is not cluttered. That way you can have such a relaxing time. And finally, number 8. And this is one of my newer traditions, and has now become my favorite. And that is to order a Cloudum drink for your table for embarkation evening, your first dinner. Now, this can be ordered through the Navigator app up to 3 days before your ship sets sail. You may be also able to order it on board. I do not know because we did not do that. We pre-ordered it to make sure that we had it. So this drink is this blue, sparkly, just very fruity, nice. It's got a very nice flavor. It's non-alcoholic, so it's perfect for anyone in your traveling party. And it is just a nice, magical way to start your vacation. And the kids felt, kind of special because it's in champagne glass, and it was really just a nice new tradition to start. This takes a little planning along with your port arrival time, but for number 8, order that bottle of Cloudum. It's about $20, and have it delivered to your dining table for your first night. And just like really toast that first night experience and just, have a great time. You can have it delivered to your stateroom too, but with all of the other things that I just was talking about and all of the other activities just to make that embarkation day really nice, wait till the evening. Wait till you're at the table and you're sitting down and you're just relaxed after a long embarkation day, and have some Cloudum. I highly recommend it. These are the things that I really like to do to make embarkation day special, to make it the best day ever, and at the very minimum, just to make it a smooth sailing time. They are not the only ways to have the best embarkation day ever. In fact, there are so many different combinations. You could have such a different variety of how to make it the best of the best, depending on if you're going as a couple, a large group, a family with older kids, a family with younger kids, just a bunch of girlfriends headed out to sea. So many different ways that this best embarkation day ever could be tweaked. And I may actually try to bring some more combinations back to you. So if you have a particular way you would like to know, like, hey, if I have a small group, what should we do for our embarkation day? We don't have any kids with us. We don't want to see the Oceaneer Club. If you want to see a specific combination, let me know in the comments and I will put one together for you. Because there's not one way to make embarkation day the best, but it's got to be the best for you. This particular way is the best for me, and I absolutely love doing things in a traditional way. I love when okay, we're going to get early port arrival. We're going to go to cabanas first. Then we're going to go on a tour of the ship. I just like knowing that we're doing these little traditional things, because after the first day, that's when you can make all kinds of new memories. And we just really like when we can combine tradition and new memories together. If you have a way that you make embarkation day the best day ever for you, please drop that into the comments. I would like to see how you spend your embarkation day. I would like to know, how many Disney cruises have you been on? Have you done the same thing every time? Have you tried something different? Let me know in the comments. If you have any questions because you've never been on a Disney cruise before, please drop them in the comments. I will be happy to answer all of your questions and help you have the most magical trip too. Until next time, keep living the magic. Bye-bye.